Hold up. Wait a minute. Bruh. Did you hit the like button? Drop some rabbits in the chat. Let's go.
Hit that like. Hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat. Hit chat. Hit that like. Hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. If you want the tea, come see me. Rabbit hole is the place to be for real news, not fake news. Celebrity news, breaking news around the clock. Real talk, best on the block. I rock, I rock, I rock, I rock. Real talk, best on the block. I rock, I rock. Hit that like, hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat, chit chat. Hit that like, hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop some drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. True crime is my specialty. Exposing the industry. Unsolved mysteries. Sticking to reality. Fair use commentary. Talking about cults. Trying to get results. Exploring hopes. Exploring, researching, debunking, investigating, being nosy, super nosy, being messy, being shady. Rabbit hole news. That's me, the chick with ADHD, unmedicated but quite educated. Hit that like. Hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat. Hit chat. Hit that like. Hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop some drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Hit that like. Hit that like. Let's go. Let's go. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. Ooh, here's crazy. Welcome, everybody. I think Savannah just dropped a new video. I could be wrong, but let me just double check the Instagram streets right now because I think she just dropped a new video and I want to make sure. Hold up, y'all. Hold up. Savannah Guthrie. Welcome, everybody. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button, please, and thank you. Did she or did she not? No, that's 2 days ago. That's not new. Sorry. Somebody sent me a video, a message and said that, oh, wait, maybe she did. Yes, she did. 31 minutes ago. She did. Okay. So let me stop right here. We're going to watch that here pretty quickly and pretty soon. And let me let the people know, that Savannah I swear, just dropped a new video. Savannah dropped 1 second. Drops new video. This is just wow. This is just interesting. 1 second. I swear, man, it's weird because it's like we were supposed to go live later. And I mean, we're here. It is what it is. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We about to get right into it. We have a lot to cover. We are going to cover this new video from Savannah Guthrie as well. Shout out to everybody in the chat, guys. Thank you so much for hitting that like button. And thank you for your support. I see we have some new members here. Thank you. My goodness. 1 second, guys. Let me shout out some people in the chat real quick. Jew 7803, thank you so much for becoming a member. My goodness, June, thank you for this very generous super sticker, my love. Thank you and welcome to the membership. Nebby, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. I really appreciate it, Nebby. If you guys have been blessed, gifted, we have wonderful, beautiful people in the community that give gifts, and make sure you select it so you're selected for a gift on your options. And again, thank you, Jew 7803, my love. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. We are about to get into it, and I promise to shout out more people here later. Somebody else, hold up. You said I can't look at Bill Gates without thinking about him slipping into his wife with that antibiotic. Lord have mercy. Listen, we gonna rush right through these other 2 topics because we have to get into this Savannah video right away. But let me see what else. Somebody else left me some very interesting comments. Hold up, y'all. Good morning, guys. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button. Thank you. When we get started here, my goodness, these comments. Shout out to everybody. Whoa. Did you know that ASL and Jenna are back together again? Yeah, I don't know if like I said, I don't know. Nobody runs things by me. People do what they do. It's got nothing to do with me, and I don't create content about their personal life. I really don't. Shout out to them. I like them both, but I don't care about who's dating what and who's doing what at this point. I said what I said. Okay. So moving on and moving forward. Shout out to everybody. There's other channels though that are really obsessed with that relationship and are really invested about the ins and outs of that relationship. I don't know why, but y'all go check them out. They're out there. I mean, they're really like obsessed. Yeah, like crack obsessed. That's how obsessed they are. Okay. Moving on. Right, Dee Dee, tell them. Let's get into this Savannah Guthrie video because she just dropped it and I haven't watched it. And then we're going to get into some other stuff, but I am jumping around a little bit here. Okay.
But we need to know where she is.
Hold up.
But we need to know where she is. We need her to come home. For that reason, we are offering a family reward of up to $1 million for any information that leads us to her recovery. All of the information about this reward and the details is in the caption below. You can call the 1-800-TIP line. You can be anonymous if you want. Someone out there knows something that can bring her home. Somebody knows. We are begging you to please come forward now. But we need to know where she is.
Yeah, I don't think this is
We need
new.
her to come home.
So I think this is a cutoff from the other video because it's not, but it was uploaded like 36 minutes ago, just so people are aware. She puts up a picture. This looks, yeah, it's not a new video. It's literally the video from here. So people were thinking, and I even thought it was a new video too, because it was just, uploaded. I guess it's just re-uploaded. So it's not a new video. Okay. It's just the same video, guys. She just re-uploaded it. So shout out to the person. Yeah, it's like the end seems a bit different. Yeah, so I think we already watched it. It's not new. Okay, so for the person that messaged me, it's not new. I could understand though. I thought it was new too because she just re-uploaded it. So there's that. You said I feel so horrible for her family and everyone else going through this. And yeah, Robert, I got notifications. Thank you so much. Yeah, I got it. Like that, everybody was telling me they got a new notification that she posted a new video. So it's not new, but it's like a cutoff portion of that. I think she's just trying to keep her, mom out there and just making sure that people don't forget about her mom, which, I would probably be doing the same as well. I think it's important. So I feel so bad for her, like everybody that's kind of going through the situation over there and everything. And I mean, hopefully we'll get some answers, but still it is very much an unknown. So we are going to do this. We're going to go ahead and, again, this is just a re-upload. I'm sure people got notifications because everybody's like reliking it and everything, but it's a cutoff.
How does the
She is uploading the Today Show clip as well.
FBI go about guaranteeing that people who do reach out, that they actually remain anonymous?
Yes.
Yeah, so Craig, experts say that let's say you submit a tip, it qualifies for the reward, you want to remain anonymous, you can then pick up that reward at a neutral location that's decided, often a place like a post office. That reward will likely be given to you in cash, and all you have to do is show that unique PIN number that's associated with your tip. You do not need to show your...
So they're putting out there that they don't even know, they don't need to know who you are. Like, you can get this anonymous reward of 1 million. Now, wait a minute. Let me say this. I don't know about you guys, and do I have I have money in my bag. I actually have cash. I told y'all. I don't be doing a lot of outside of just a regular schmegular. Where's my y'all gonna see my wallet? My wallet. Look at my wallet. It's got horses. Okay, I got some dollars in here. Now, one thing I know about a dollar, and I don't, yeah, it's in here too. These numbers right here are recorded, right? Like these numbers right there. So this is how they record bills. So if you're out there using, like, say you're, they're able to kind of record, it's how they do it, right? Even in the banks. So if they give an excessive amount of whatever, because when they deliver and they dispense money, it's usually by numbers, and there's a number thing, and that number kind of tells you where and what where it was distributed and all this other stuff, and you can even track a dollar or money that way, right? So I mean I think that they're trying to put that out there to say, like, you won't be tracked, but I don't know. Cash is tracked. It can be tracked. There's ways. That's right. Serial numbers can be tracked. Rabbit busting the fence. No, I feel like I think people know that. Maybe it's just me, but I thought people knew that. I mean, I thought we knew that you could track dollar bills through the serial number. I don't know. Cassie says, I lost my mom years ago, but I can't imagine what Savannah's going through. They don't write any manuals for something like this. No, they don't. They don't, honestly. So I think it's great that she's putting that out there, but I think people know that you can track cash. They're tracking bills.
Your ID, experts say it is really not traceable and no questions asked.
How does the FBI go about guaranteeing that people who do reach out, that they actually remain anonymous?
Yeah, so Craig, experts say that, let's say you submit a tip, it qualifies for the reward, you want to remain anonymous, you can then pick up that reward at a neutral location that's decided, often a place like a post office. That reward will likely be given to you in cash, and all you have to do is show that unique PIN number that's associated with your tip. You do not need to show your ID. Experts say it is really not traceable and no questions asked.
How does the FBI go about guaranteeing that people who do reach out, that they actually remain anonymous?
FBI doesn't guarantee that, but okay.
Yeah, so Craig, experts say that, let's say you submit a tip, it qualifies for the reward, you want to remain anonymous.
So does the tip qualify for the reward? Or tips can be anonymous. Reward can be paid in cash, as explained here. Family reward up to $1 million will be paid only for recovery. So you don't get paid for tips. Family reward of up to $1 million will be paid only for recovery. That's the consistency of that requirement. Okay, just
anonymous. You can then pick up that reward at a neutral location that's decided, often a place like a post office.
Yeah.
That reward will likely be given to you in cash, and all you have to do is show that unique PIN number that's associated with your tip.
I think the only thing that I was saying was that you said because no one will know that you're picking up the cash. They can record the serial number out of those bills. So, like, there was a famous bank robbery situation, because you know how, like, even when the bank receives those bills, those are the serial number tracks them. So I'm wondering about that too. Like, if they're guaranteeing this, but it's the FBI, so I don't know how much. Keep that in mind, going back to work saves lives because some people can't handle grief. That's true. Working what keeps them going, the routine. I don't blame Savannah at all. If she goes back to work, it would be very hard. Carly, you're right. I think that sometimes work can take your mind off of things. It would just be very hard for me to be working around these people. I'd feel some type of way,
You do not need to show your ID. Experts say it is really not traceable and no questions asked.
Okay. So again, for those that message me, it is not a new video. It is literally a snippet of the other video that she uploaded a couple days ago, just so people are aware. But again, I mean, if you guys are aware of information, just call. I mean, I would want to know what happened to my parent or my loved one. There's nothing like what's the holdback? You know what I mean? It just Yeah, call. Do the right thing. I'm sure everybody's saying this at this point. This has been long enough. If she's no longer here, she wants to lay her to rest, and I think that's important. You know, DB Cooper, the man who jumped off from from the airplane with a bunch of cash. Fox, were those serial numbers tracked in that? Yeah, they just want closure. They do. Okay. So the reason I had jumped right away to Nancy and Savannah Guthrie, we're going to come back, was because I was told that there was a new video, but there isn't. It's a cut off video. I want us to talk a little bit about something that's happening that unfortunately, and I have to use TMZ for this news because I don't see anybody else talking about it. So you guys remember, put one in the chat if you know who Kate Beckinsale. Beckinsale, is that how you say her name? I remember her. Okay. And some weird is going on, and I don't know, it could be strategy, it could be to take our attention away from other things. I mean, a lot of our attention is everywhere at this point. We're covering a bunch of things, right? But Kate apparently had put some really interesting things on her Instagram, and then last night I went to her Instagram and she had this very interesting song playing. I can't remember, it was something death. You know how sometimes you could like put music on your Instagram and then it plays or something when you're on the profile. Something death. And then her profile had been wiped out. And then she had put a message on that like byline, something really weird. And I should have screenshot it. And I don't know, I'm kicking myself for not doing it because I screenshot everything, because that's how my mind works. But I went to it again this morning, and this is her profile. And she's got nothing on it. Okay. And she's got the photos that she's tagged in and everything, but as far as her posts, now in her profile picture, there's this interesting picture, and I'm gonna try to see if I can pull the images out to figure out where this is from. Now, you guys know that sometimes, like, when stuff like this is happening, and sometimes I feel like we're being given messages, whatever it may be. I'm going to see if I can find out where to get this specific picture from. The picture shows, I don't know, like a woman and a child. Honey, it says in quotations, honey, what do you want to be when you grow up? And then on the bottom it says a threat to the new world order. A threat to the new world. See if I can screenshot it and see where this is coming from. See if I can do a reverse image search. Google image searches. Sometimes that's the best way to find out where somebody picked something up. Let me see. I'll do it here live, and we can find out where this came from. So people were talking about how cryptic this is. Look at this. This is her profile pic. Okay. I didn't see anybody talk about this at all. She knows. Now, I know I got a lot of Gen X, millennials, and a lot of people from different generational backgrounds, right? And I love it because I always learn from like generations. Y'all always educate me on something that I don't know, right? Or I was too young or whatever, or maybe I forgot. I told you guys a couple weeks ago, I said, you know how back when, as a millennial, there was this thing, especially in wrestling, there was like this promotion of a new world order, right? The NWO. It was like propaganda. And I never really understood what that meant. Like, what does that mean? And it kind of stopped a bit, right? And then it's starting back up again. And I told you guys, I said, doesn't it feel like if there is something to be called like a new world, order, this would be it right here. Like we're truly living it, right? It seems like that to me. Like we're literally living something that we kind of knew was coming to us, right? So anyway, so this is her profile pic, and this is what AI tells us. This image features a meme-like edit of grow your own, can your own World War II propaganda poster. focusing on the text overlay rather than just a vintage illustration. The meme is juxtaposed an innocent historical image of good canning with a modern, cynical caption. The text image is a dialogue between mother and daughter. The original poster encouraged citizens to grow and preserve their own food to support the war efforts. Okay. The added text changes the context to satirical remarks about defying authority. Okay, so I just read the caption. So it comes from grow your own, can your own. Okay. And that's her profile pic currently. Now, let me tell you what TMZ captured. And I wish I would have captured this before. Nobody else is talking about this. I think it's important to know, right? And it's not like Kate Beckinsale is like blockbuster movie. At one point she was. She was up there with Ben Affleck. She did the Pearl Harbor, and then she had I think it was like the Underworld series. And I mean, she was rocking it, killing it. Now you don't even hear her name anymore. She's kind of like fizzled out in the background. I always kind of consider her that she would be like an A-lister. I don't even think she's that. Which is interesting. So Kate has fans seriously worried after her entire Instagram was wiped and her stories were flooded with a string of cryptic, troubling posts. Take a look at her IG. Take a look at her IG profile. Every glam shot is gone, and in its place, there is one stark image on her grid reading, "You win." And that's just the beginning. So these were things that were captured. You can't get them anymore. In California, installing a concealed camera to record in a bathroom is a serious criminal offense, particularly when it involves minors in a prolonged period, because you and your daughter are victims. This situation involves both criminal and civil penalties. Does she have any children? This is how much I don't know about her. Is she being watched? Is she being stalked or harassed? And so then she's like, I need to put down my Instagram. Something is going on. Okay. So I always kind of pay attention to things like this because it's like, are they trying to, these are people that are, I wouldn't necessarily say she's elite, but she was adjacent to, if that makes sense. And you know what's happening with some of these folks right now that they're exposing a lot of different things and whatnot. So it further goes. Under California law, this conduct generally falls under Penal Code 647J, invasion of privacy voyeurism. So she lives in California. And she like lists out here criminal penalties, right? What can happen? Privacy violation, hidden cameras, filming in shared homes. Is somebody filming her? Is something going on with her? And now all of her social media is like gone. It further goes, the stories are even more alarming, packed with screenshots of Google searches about hidden cameras, privacy violations inside her home, legal consequences, cyber stalking, and abuse-related topics. I hope she's okay. The account also posted quotes like "enough is enough," references to hitting a breaking point. This was up there and it's not. It's all deeply unsettling right now. It's unclear whether Kate feels threatened by someone or something, or if something else is going on behind the scenes. TMZ has reached out to a rep for comment. They haven't heard back, I guess. Something's going on with Kate, and I wanted to put this out here so people are aware. Something's going on. Okay. Yo, I mean, her Instagram is gone. I mean, it's, she's got some stuff in here. Maybe she's exposing things. I don't know. Something to kind of keep in mind. I think also with, do you know what, Ames? I'm wondering if this is going to be next. She was admitted to a psych hospital. She's in a conservatorship. They taking her rights. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, something's going on, And again, I pay attention to things like this because, yeah, I believe her mom passed away recently, really. And I haven't seen a whole lot of people talk about it. Like, nobody's talking about it. Or is she in hiding? Does she have any children? I don't even think I don't really know. Does Kate have children? She was married. Yeah, she does. Lily Mo Sheen, is that her child? Lily Mo? She's got children, and I think is something going on with her. She got divorced. Yeah, the Instagram is creepy, y'all. And let me tell you something. The Instagram is creepy, and sometimes when people are going through things, they can't really tell you. They're in fear of their life. if somebody's putting stuff out there like that, I'm assuming something bigger is happening here. And literally, when I put Kate's name in here, there is no other outside of her movies. Look, somebody just wrote an article. Yesterday was just TMZ. Showbiz, what is going on with Kate's Instagram? The Irish Sun, Kate sparks concern over wiped Instagram. Now people are talking. Now people are picking it up. But TMZ was the first to report it 20 hours ago. So I'll give you that. Nothing else. I don't think she hasn't been in. When was the last movie? Last movie. Like I said, she kind of fell off. But to me, 2024. Canary Black, where she stars as a CIA agent. Okay, so she's done some movies maybe 2 years ago, but again, I don't feel like Kate Beckinsale isn't somebody who's like, up there, but she's adjacent. So to that, something's going on with her. Keep that in mind. Anyways, wanted to put that out there. Moving on. Okay. I just want to know, has the internet forgiven Bill Gates? Have we forgiven Bill Gates? Did we forgive Bill Gates? Question. Is Bill Gates forgiven? Put a one in the chat if you have forgiven Bill Gates. Apparently, don't forget that it was reported that he tried to put an antibiotic on his wife's drink. This was exposed or somewhere. Like he needed some antibiotics because the guy, I don't know, was walking around, he had some kind of disease. He was really, really concerned about infecting his wife at the time. So, like any good cheating husband, he decided to consult with his good friend Epstein, who a lot of people don't know. We don't know who Epstein is. We don't know. Some guy. You don't know. Anyway, so he decided to consult with Epstein, his good friend Epstein. And there are some emails out there that, by the way, were released by the DOJ, where he talked about, I got the crabs or something. I'm just thinking out loud. Some transmitted disease, okay? And he needed an antibiotic, and he was thinking about slipping that antibiotic, Lord have mercy, to the drink of his wife, okay? Now, ain't that some ish? All right. So anyways, ain't that some ish? But apparently, you said Bill Gates got the clap. It's one thing for this to have been a private matter. You know what I mean? Like, but it was literally exposed because of all this stuff that's been exposed, right? Like, it would have been one thing for him to have been, to have said it privately to, his ex at the time, but it's all out there now. It's all out there. So we all know that he at some point considered, slipping some antibiotics to his wife. I don't know, right? How thoughtful, he wanted to take care of her. Anyways. And typically, when, in my opinion, and I've seen this happen before from friends, that have been through things like this, where, and I have been through, and not me, thank God. We're good, but, some of my good friends who have gone through spouses that have cheated sometimes typically don't find out about the cheating until after they also get a disease. Maybe they're going to the gynecologist for, a whatever checkup, and then they find out that they receive something, and then they haven't been with anybody else but with their husbands or wives or whatever, and then they find out that this is what they have. And typically, that, by experience, at least what I've witnessed, is people just leave the marriage after that, because how can you stay in a situation like that when somebody did that to you? Yeah, I don't condone cheating, but I think it is a crime to cheat. And I think that if you give somebody a disease, it should be a crime, in my opinion. Like, you're with, your significant other. I think that there should be a criminal, and I feel like people would be a lot more mindful about how they carry their vows and what they do. You know what I mean? Because it's like, yeah, if you're with somebody for so many years, and if you pick up a disease, is it a crime in every state though? I don't know if it's a crime in every state. So I know that if you intentionally give somebody a disease, it's a crime. I thought that it was what is it, the house in Virginia type of situation, right? That would be if you're intentionally infecting people. But I don't know if every transmitted disease is a crime. That's what I don't know. I think it needs to be a crime. I think it should. Every disease that's transmitted should be a crime. Are you kidding me? Because all these diseases make you susceptible to bigger uncurable diseases. So yeah. Anyways, so Bill Gates apologizes to foundation staff after Epstein ties. So billionaire admits that he had 2 affairs and opens up about his mistakes in associating with the SO offender. Now, let me say this. Although I don't care for Bill Gates and the things that he has done, the one thing that I will say, okay, and maybe we might agree and disagree on this one, guys, but this is kind of what I take from this too. I think it's important to acknowledge this. If this man has publicly acknowledged that he had affairs while he was married, right? Affairs. And he publicly acknowledged, I don't think he had much of a choice. I think he had to because of that email. How do you explain that away? He's acknowledged it. That's more than the people that are currently in these files that won't even acknowledge anything and that have willfully ignored it. And by God, there's lots of them right now, right? So I may not care for a Bill Gates and, all the stuff that he's done, but I will say this. I do feel like he's acknowledged it, which is more than what all these other people have done. Okay? I'll give you that. Because you're not going to get that from other folks. You're not going to get that from other folks. You're not. We're not getting it. Mm-mm. Bill Gates apologizes to staff of the Gates Foundation over his ties to Epstein, admitting he made mistakes that had cast a cloud over the group while insisting that he didn't participate in Epstein crimes. Lord have mercy. In a town hall Tuesday, I might have to get another article. In a town hall Tuesday, in the Microsoft co-founder acknowledged that he had 2 affairs with Russian women that Epstein later discovered, but that they didn't involve Epstein victims. Okay. Now, were these women underage? That would be my other question, because if he is admitting to this, then I think that we need to start charging people for these things. I don't care. Like, we just need to. There's a lot of people out there that we just need to do. Look at the UK right now. Look what everybody else is doing. They're holding people accountable. We are so behind. But anyways, so he admits to the affairs and he apologizes and further goes. Let me get into this article because I didn't have a subscription for the other one. Gates answered questions at the twice-a-year meeting, February 24th, and on a range of issues, including the release of the Epstein files. The foundation said in the town hall, Bill spoke candidly, addressing several questions in details, and took responsibility for his actions, the foundation said. The statement came in response to the Wall Street Journal report that said Gates had apologized to his staff at the event over his ties to Epstein. Oh man, some of these pictures did not age very well. Documents released by the Justice Department have indicated Gates and Epstein met repeatedly to discuss expanding Microsoft founders' efforts, and the meetings came after Epstein was in prison for 13 months, ending in 2009 for a conviction on state charges in Florida of soliciting the prostitution involving minors. Epstein died by, this is what they say, but we don't believe it, while he was in custody. According to the Journal report, Gates told staff that it was a huge mistake to spend time with Epstein and bring Gates Foundation executives into meetings with the SO offender. The reports cited a recording of Gates' comments in the town hall. I apologize to other people who are drawn into this because of the mistakes I made, he said, according to the newspaper. Now, the Journal added Gates also acknowledged 2 affairs. Wow, he acknowledges, okay, with the Russian women that Epstein later discovered, but he said they did not involve Epstein victims. I did nothing illicit. I saw nothing illicit, Gates told the staff, according to the report. Okay. The DOJ documents from the criminal investigation of Epstein have been released publicly, included pictures of the Microsoft founder posing with women whose faces are redacted. Well, okay. Gates had said his relationship with Epstein was limited to discussions and acknowledged that it was a mistake to meet him. According to the Journal, Gates told the foundation staff that the images were pictures of Epstein asked him to take with Epstein's assistants for their meeting. Well, how old were the assistants? Because he was walking around with children, okay? And people just thought it was okay. I mean, literally. To be clear, I never spent any time with the victims, the women around him. The women around him, Gates added, okay? So other documents show Epstein ties to a bunch of advisors, and apparently Epstein wrote in an email to himself saying Gates and his aides were mistreating him despite a friendship so close that Gates once asked him for an antibiotic to treat a STI he had contracted from the Russian girls. So his former wife, Melinda Gates, divorced him in 2021 after 27 years of marriage. She left the Gates Foundation in 2024, so she didn't leave that long ago. Whatever questions remain there, whatever questions remain there of what I can't even begin to know it. To know a lot of it. Excuse me. Those questions are for those people, and for even my ex-husband. They need to answer to those things, not me. It does make you wonder what Melinda knew and can't even answer. I know the face is literally. How recent was the interview? Set on recently for an interview after this info was released. Interesting. Just recently, she felt that she had to leave it. Something else was going on, but like I do wonder if Melinda went through that situation where she went to the gyno, okay? And the doctor told her, "Listen, you got this. This is where your symptoms are coming from." And the thing is, like I said, I really do think that people need to be charged for just exposing people to things, even if it's not curable. Because the reason I say this, and I say this loudly, is because even if it's not curable, some of these diseases, these STIs, they can, even if you do take medication, they basically open up your immune system to be susceptible to other things. We have seen, I mean, I think, what is it, HPV, it makes you susceptible to like other kinds of cancers that, had you not had this, you probably wouldn't have been exposed to that, right? And again, this isn't a situation, she's married, and I've seen this happen in relationships where people are married and, spouses, men and women, they go out there and they cheat, and then they come home and they bring that stuff, and then they don't even tell their wives to even get a cure or treat it or whatever. Like it's a sad situation, but I think that people need to understand that, we need to hold people accountable. That's just my opinion. Okay. Let's move excuse me, let's move on, because we have to talk about this footage. Now, do I really have to show? There was new footage that was released, okay? Apparently through a new ring cam. Now, I'm trying to understand. This is Nancy Guthrie. We're moving on. Sorry, guys. We're moving on. I'm trying to understand about this new. Okay, it's a person that was, I guess, driving in the area, okay? And I'm trying to understand, because it was collected through a ring camera. Has this footage been given to law enforcement before it was released to media, or what was the first step? So new ring cam footage shows, okay, hold up, let me make sure I'm like away from the Bill Gates stuff, because we're going to move on. New ring camera footage shows near Nancy Guthrie's home. So it was footage near Nancy Guthrie's home. Shows cars speeding down the road minutes after her abduction. Authorities are aware of the footage, but have not confirmed whether it's a clue in the case, according to reports. Now, Nancy Guthrie's neighbors are continuing to review their doorbell camera footage for anything that might help authorities as they investigate the abduction of Savannah Guthrie's 84-year-old mother. One neighbor who lives 2.5 miles from Nancy's Tucson home released new footage obtained by Fox Digital. So they gave the footage to Fox before law enforcement. And this footage was of a car speeding down the road just minutes after police believed Nancy was taken from her house. Now, the Piedmont County Sheriff's Office told Fox News and NBC News that they are aware of the newly released Ring camera footage, but didn't share whether the footage was a clue in the case. Neighbors Elias and Danielle released the footage, telling Fox Digital that authorities had not canvassed their neighborhood in the past 25 days. Their home is on a back road, roughly 7-minute drive from Nancy's home, that leads out of her neighborhood and avoids major intersections. Okay. The car speeding, yeah, they're going to avoid major intersections. The sheriff's office previously requested a Ring camera footage from homes within a 2-mile radius dating back to January 1st, with the focus on a time window of windows of January 11th between 9 p.m. and midnight, and January 31st between 9:30 a.m. and 11 a.m. The home that submitted this footage was outside of the radius and times requested. Okay, so maybe that's why they didn't collect it. That's why they didn't say anything. I don't know. Or maybe they didn't even collect it because they said, well, that doesn't really meet our criteria of information that we actually need, but okay. One of the videos released was recorded at around 2:36 a.m. on February 1st, which is roughly 8 minutes after Guthrie's pacemaker last synced with her iPhone, according to the sheriff's timeline. Now, the news publication article also reached out to Pima, to the office, for comment on the footage. And Nancy, who has been taken from her home February 1st, has now been missing for nearly a month. Yeah, we're definitely approaching. There's no 31st in February. So we're approaching, like literally approaching a month. Earlier this week, Savannah released an emotional new video where, she's offering up $1 million. And this morning she released a new cut of that, okay? Surveillance footage and images released by the FBI and Sheriff's Office from Nancy's Nest Door camera show an armed mass intruder. Okay, and now we know that it's in different days. At least that's what we believe. Let's get into this new image. Okay, y'all, let me know what you guys think in the comments about it. But I have a lot of questions about this. Let's look at this.
This new Ring camera footage obtained by Fox News Digital shows the car driving around 2:30 a.m. the night Nancy Guthrie was abducted. The sheriff's office says they're aware of the video, which was taken about 2.5 miles from her home and outside that 2-mile perimeter where investigators had asked for video. An FBI source tells NBC News since Nancy's disappearance, investigators have amassed 5,000 to 10,000 hours of footage that agents are now going through. It comes as the FBI is in the process of handing Nancy's home back over to Savannah and her family. Two law enforcement sources tell NBC News that after weeks of extensively searching the property, investigators no longer feel a need to seal the home off as a crime scene or restrict the family's access. Nancy's street also now closed down to public parking, limiting the media presence outside the home. This will now be the second time the property has been returned to the family. 2 days after Nancy's abduction, the Pima County Sheriff announces investigators had completed their search.
The scene is done. We're done with the residents. We have turned that over to the family.
But a day after the sheriff said that, the property was sealed off, this time by the FBI.
The main significance of handing the house back is that is going to be the end of the ability to collect evidence. Any evidence that they would collect, any defense attorney would say, this could be contaminated, this could have been planted. This is the end of the line as far as collecting evidence goes.
And with that, Liz joins us tonight live from outside the FBI field office in Phoenix, where many of those thousands of hours of footage and some of that DNA is being reviewed.
Now, is it Kaylee? Thank you so much for this super sticker. I wonder if the whole point was to make it impossible for Savannah to return to work. She gave a voice to the victims. You mean like the whole point of taking her mom and hence making her a target? Yeah. It's kind of hard to say at this point, like, what is it like? And I know, okay, let me put this out here because I do have to wonder about this. I know we just talked about Epstein and Bill Gates and stuff like that, right? Here's a question that I have, all right? And I know people say, well, she's in the files. Yes, because she interviewed victims. And then I think it's her husband, you know, all of this. If this had happened, if the files being released, okay, and is a factor into this, just a question. I'm trying to understand the connection, right? Like why we would think that her releasing or no, her being mentioned in the file would make her a target in one way or another, a target. And so then her mom is a target. Like why her? Why Savannah Guthrie and why her mom? And I, again, people go to the files. I'm trying, there's something else that we're missing here. Now, money motivated, sure. We could say that. But it still doesn't even answer the question. Like, it's not like she wasn't willing to pay, and it's not like she didn't have the money. And one thing I will say is Savannah Guthrie understands how much of this coverage is taken attention from others, hence why she donated to you know, the other agency. I think it's John Walsh's agency, the Center of Exploited Missing Children. I don't know. I go back and forth on this. I know we've said, well, maybe it's Epstein related. I don't know. You know, we can guess, we can assume, but I don't know. And yeah, like it's just something that I've been thinking about very loudly, because immediately our minds, and I'm guilty of this, and a lot of us are, we went to family. And even now, family's not being looked at. Family's been supposedly cleared. Again, thank you so much, Kaylee, for this super sticker. Joey, my goodness, thank you for the super sticker. Let me see what you said. I'm honestly so confused about this case, Rabbit. I don't understand the investigation strategy or lack thereof. I don't understand why the FBI isn't talking, and this sheriff, and I do still think she's a target. Thoughts? Yeah. Where I'm at is, why is she a target? Why Savannah? Why Savannah's mom? Why Savannah? Why Savannah's mom? If you've ever studied the Zodiac killer, or like all these, the Black Dahlia, all these murders type of situations, right, where they're still unsolved to this day. The Zodiac killer has not been solved even till this day. There's been a lot of Hollywood movies about it. There's a lot of unsolved murders that leave a print in our history, and it makes us think, well, why? Well, what would the motive be, right? And this is one of those where I don't understand. Who did she upset? Did Savannah Guthrie, this is what I'm thinking too. Did she date somebody in her lifetime? Did she upset somebody in her lifetime? And here we are, present time. JonBenet Ramsey is another one, right? Is another one. Look at the historic. JonBenet Ramsey is a perfect example of it. Why is it so, like, we have the family was cleared, and there was a lot of speculation. A lot of people have different internet theories about it, right? And yet, and still, we don't have anybody. They're historic. We've talked about them till this day. I don't understand the targeting, and it does make me wonder if the person that targeted Nancy, it's got to be somebody local. Savannah Guthrie grew up in Tucson, right? It's got to be somebody local. Who did she piss off at? What happened? Who did she upset? Did she date somebody? Did she upset somebody that just stayed obsessed with her? And she ignored? That could happen too. Sometimes we don't even know that we're targets of something until it happens, right? And how do you get somebody where it hurts? Through their mother, especially if you know that they have a very close relationship, right? Through their mom. Just a thought. I don't know. I don't always think this is Epstein related. I really do think that Savannah Guthrie pissed somebody off, and this is historic. And they got her mom, and the person that did this knew that she was close to her mom. Something. Assuming. And it might not even be family. Like I said, it could just be somebody very close. Joey, thank you so much for this 1999. Hold up. Now, let me go down. Let me know what you guys think. It could be one of her coworkers. It could. It's a family affair, have nothing to do with any of their jobs. I don't know, man. You tag me on X, I'll check it out. I think they were hoping to make a quick buck because Savannah has a lot of money. That money is not the issue, right? She's got a lot of money. You said, and so now it's time to go into Savannah's personal life and reporting history deep dive. Well, I don't know about that. I don't think I'm the one to do that. And what I mean by that is, I mean, she is not like, she's a celebrity in terms of because of she's a reporter and she's at a public network, right? But I do wonder if these behavioral FBI folks, behavioral analysts, right? If I'm thinking that they've interviewed her in a way in which they're able to assess her past life, right? If it's a targeted attack, they're able to assess, okay, who did she date? What was her life like? Who did she grow up? Was there any bad relationships, any friendships, anybody maybe in the network that she talked to that she thought about dating? Like these are kinds of things, that you could even go back to, So there's something there. I do wonder if this is deeper that way. But again, that's just a theory and speculation of mine. I could be wrong, Just a thought. Hold up. Now, let me get into this and I'm going to pull some other stuff.
Yeah, that's right, Tom. Investigators have to watch every single piece of video in real time. That remains a key part of this investigation. And while there are still many boots on the ground in Tucson, a senior law enforcement official says there are now scores of agents centered here in Phoenix where they're analyzing intel and poring over all that evidence. Tom?
All right, Liz Kreutz for us tonight. Liz, thank you.
Okay.
We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking.
This guy's not yelling. Shout out to him. I did see this article. Well, I didn't read it, but I saw it. We're going to go into that here in a minute about somebody who was accused as well. We got to get into that. But before we get into that, I guess, so there was an arrest yesterday. And people were talking about this situation too, that there was an arrest and apparently it was like a DUI related. So I saw the tagline. I said, wait, they made an arrest last night? Lord have mercy, let me get up. Do I have to go live? And then it come to find out it was a DUI related arrest. Deputies arrested a man in front of Nancy Guthrie's house. Deputy drove his car away. Man was acting suspiciously with the pic of Nancy Guthrie on him. It smelled like marijuana. He had a picture of Nancy Guthrie on him. What do you mean? What? He had a picture of her? Like, why? It was on his phone. I was like, wait, I'm thinking like, are you walking around with a picture of her? Thank you. Yeah, it was on the phone. Okay, gotcha. I was like, huh? Oh my God, look at that area, man. Is that Brian Enton? He has a tent out there. Is that Brian Enton with the tent? He looks like he's got a little tent out there. Hold up. I want to go to his video real quick because he does kind of get into that. Apparently the guy was acting kind of weird. So he had the photo on his phone. But I'm thinking like, well, okay, on his phone. All right. I have her photos on my phone because I have to do thumbnails and
update to my previous video about the weird guy who was driving by like literally 50 times with the like picture of Nancy Guthrie on his phone when he looked in the window. He was arrested. It turns out he was arrested for DUI. We kind of watched the whole thing happen right here outside the house. Like they got him out of the car and then they did field sobriety tests and he ended up getting arrested. So they took him away. So it's kind of weird to see that all happen right outside Nancy's house.
So was he like at a bar and he's like looking, he's like, well, I'm going to go out there and try to find her?
So that's pretty much the latest from outside here. Obviously, you guys, if you check out my latest episode on YouTube, I talk about this new surveillance video that's come out today, which is interesting, from a camera 2.5 miles away. But the timing seems to really match up with when someone may have left Nancy's house when her pacemaker disconnected from her phone. So check that out. And that's really it. And you guys know now there's like no cars allowed on Nancy's street, parking wise. So we have to walk in. So I'm about to walk probably about maybe a mile in that direction in pitch black darkness, which is actually kind of freaking me out. And everyone's like, oh, there's coyotes, there's bobcats. So anyway, hopefully I'll be okay. Just joking. It'll be fine. But all right, talk to you guys later.
Bobcats are no joke. Coyotes, they're more scared of us, but bobcats, I'll be messing with no bobcats, y'all. Don't be messing with no bobcats. And some of these animals tend to travel in packs. Don't underestimate the Arizona. don't underestimate the desert or anything like that at all. Okay. So I heard about this situation right here, and I know people have talked about it too. 48-year-old Dominic Evans, school teacher in Tucson, who plays in a band with Nancy Guthrie's son-in-law, about how the online accusations against him have upended his life and his family's life this month. Okay, so y'all remember all those pictures, people putting together, all the background stuff that people were looking at. I mean, they were really, putting crimes on people, right? And to a certain degree, like, I think even us, we were looking at it, we're like, well, is it possible that, because the ban and everything is just, it's a lot of different things and whatnot that was happening. You said coyotes impact, yeah, they travel impact, but the bobcats, those are, they're predatory. They will hunt you down. Okay, they see you, they'll hunt you down. But yeah, wildlife is ruthless. So people got to be careful out there. Don't underestimate an animal. A 5th grade teacher and his principal wife hid in their bedroom as dozens of people who believe he might be a kidnapper appeared on their suburban street. A 6-year-old boy in Arizona spent his first night away from his parents this month, not because he was at a sleepover or away at a camp. It was because people had descended onto his parents' suburban Tucson street, thinking that his father might be the man who had abducted Nancy Guthrie. The boy's father, Dominic Evans, a 48-year-old elementary school teacher, plays drums in a band with one of Guthrie's son-in-laws. Okay. For some people, that, coupled with Mr. Evans' 1999 arrest from drunkenly swiping a calculator and watch while out at a bar, was enough. He had become their prime suspect. The accusations were levied online, but they have become a real-life nightmare for Mr. Evans and his wife. They hid in their bedroom with the lights off that night, too frightened to pick up their son from their grandmother's house for fear of being followed. Days later, another swarm of journalists, live streamers, and is it gawkers, photographed the family's home and knocked on their neighbor's door. That's too much. The couple who met years ago in a copy room of the school where they worked have tried to live a private life in a quiet neighborhood where they were raising 3 boys. Instead, they have become the latest victims of America's internet-enabled fascination with crime and amateur efforts to solve the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, the 84-year-old mother of the television host Savannah Guthrie. Thoughts, opinions about this situation? Let me know in the comments. It doesn't matter that Mr. Evans spoke to investigators 2 weeks ago for roughly 40 minutes and hasn't heard from them since. On social media, there are people who are sure the ski mask man at Miss Guthrie's doorstep in the early hours of February 1st was Mr. Evans. It's in the eyes, they say. Mr. Evans and his wife, Andrea, spoke publicly for the first time in an interview with the New York Times in Tucson this week. Both were often near tears as they described a blur of disturbing events. And I quote, "I feel like someone's taken my name," Mr. Evans said. "But for what reason? I don't know. Monetary clickbait to be relevant entertainment, but there are innocent people that get hurt." So the sheriff, who is leading the investigation with the FBI, are they? That's the question. Said in an interview that he was frustrated by many of the accusations. He said he did not want to publicly rule out anyone beyond Miss Guthrie's relatives and their spouses, whom he cleared last week. But he said he felt for Mr. Evans. "He's going through hell and it's horrible," Sheriff Nano said. "And I don't know what to tell him except he probably should be speaking with some attorneys and sue some of these people for libel." Well, hold up. not that I want to expand resources, but why can't Dominic receive some? Look, and I know that this is a big ask, okay, but if there is an active if the sheriff is not willing to clear Dominic and family, why can't they just have somebody out there parked out there, you know, at his house, a sheriff or something that is able to do a shift there, you know, to kind of keep an eye out? Because if they're only able to clear the family and they're not able to clear this guy, like that does put a lot of risk to him. And I mean, guys, like everybody thinks that how many people have been accusing this guy? And I say this because there's a lot of pictures I remember seeing, and I'm like, well, I mean, anything is possible. Anything is possible with these people. We don't know. But you can't sue everybody on the internet that accused you of something. And this is a case that has had so much coverage. Like, what are you supposed to do? Sue every live streamer? Sue every journalist? Sue, what are you supposed to do? Like, who has that kind of money to do that? Yeah, heels with sounds. Suspect did say that everybody was a suspect. The sheriff could clear him if he knows. If it was a 40-minute conversation and that was enough to clear him. Okay, but like what? They're out there, y'all. They're out there. Exactly. And we need to know he's for 100% true, not true to be slander. Well, and that's the thing is like, you know, some of these people nowadays, you can be sued for just about anything. So you got to be careful when you put things out here, right? If you're accusing people of committing crimes, yeah, that's a lawsuit, right? That so many videos and so much coverage of this. If you're accusing somebody of committing a crime, you need to understand that, you know, you can be sued for this. However, that being said, though, is it that hard when the sheriff says he can only clear the family? That doesn't help him either, right? And if there is a concern, if sheriff felt really bad about the safety, then why not station somebody out there? Because he's not going to go around sue people for libel or whatever or any kind of slander. If that's impossible, it's impossible. It's impossible for this man to go out there and sue a bunch of people. He could, but it would be impossible. There's just so many people talking about this case and putting different things out. I wish I could jump out and defend every single one of them that's been falsely accused, he added. Mr. Evans' connection to the Guthrie family began in 2007 when he joined a rock band called Early Black with Tommaso Cioni after responding to a Craigslist ad. And the two started jamming regularly with the guitarist. At some point, Mr. Cioni, the bassist, mentioned that he was married to the older sister of Savannah Guthrie, the Today Show host. Mr. Evans said that he met Nancy Guthrie only once in 2011 when he brought his oldest son to hunt for Easter eggs at her home. Mr. Evans recalls vividly that what he was doing when he learned that something had happened to her. It was the night of February 1st, and he and his wife were putting their two younger sons to bed in a separate room, each lying with one son until he fell asleep. As Mr. Evans scrolled through Instagram from her other son's bed, she saw that Miss Guthrie had been reported missing. Miss Evans, excuse me. She texted her husband in the other room, and he responded with disbelief. Okay, so then Mr. Evans sent a message to Mr. Cioni telling him that he was there to support him. But within days, the storm of accusations came for both of them. In the first days after Miss Guthrie was abducted, online suspicion turned to Mr. Cioni in large part because of a podcast host who had claimed that he was a suspect. Okay, New York Times put an address and name on it. New York Times put a name on it. Put a name on it. New York Times, your time is up. Put a name on it. You need to put a name on it. Because you cannot be this vague. In the first days after Miss Guthrie was abducted, an online suspicion turned into Mr. Cioni in large part because of a podcast host who had claimed that he was a suspect. Oh, How come they don't put a? You're not defaming her character. That's literally how it happened, and it went down, right? I swear, some of these people. Then people zeroed in on Mr. Evans, noting a conviction for drunken driving in 1999 bar incident, which he served a year and a half on probation. He graduated from the University of Arizona a few years later, and has been teaching ever since. Now, February 10th, the day that the investigators released footage from Miss Guthrie's doorbell, people began to speculate whether the man pictured wearing a mask and carrying a pistol was Mr. Evans. Posted side-by-side images of two analyzing their eyes, brows, and lashes. Mr. Evans and his wife arrived home late, and that day noticed more cars than usual at a nearby park. Within minutes of walking inside, many of those cars pulled up to their street. Mr. Evans remembers seeing young people sitting in the back of a truck as if their home was a macabre attraction. The couple told their oldest son, a teenager, not to come home, and they felt that they could not retrieve their youngest son from their grandmother's house because of the cars remained and their on their street until the early morning. It was all night looking through the windows, trying to not let any light out of her home, said Miss Evans, 39, a principal in a neighboring school district. She said she had been scared numb. Days later, on Friday the 13th, Mr. Evans asked his school's principal to hold a brief staff meeting where Mr. Evans addressed the speculation with other teachers and said that he would be taking a few days off. That week, he also met with the investigators from the FBI and the Piedmont County Sheriff's Department, who he said had been asked about his band, his friendship with Mr. Sioni, and his whereabouts on the night Miss Guthrie was taken at home with this family. He told them. At about 5 p.m. on February 13th, several journalists and live streamers reported that a SWAT vehicle had left the sheriff's department headquarters that sent a flood of people back to the couple's neighborhood. Oh my God. Anticipating that Mr. Evans might be the target. Their address was posted online. Well, I didn't do that. Oh my God. This one felt really, really, really scary because it was like everyone was waiting for someone to come to our house. Miss Evans said. Mr. Evans' first thought was that he had been swatted by someone wishing him harmed. They told their 6-year-old to stay away from the window and to keep quiet. I don't even know if I'd have my kids there anyway. I'd probably leave. But sometimes, where are you supposed to go when all this stuff is happening? As it turned out, the police operation was actually targeting a home 30 minutes away where investigators questioned and released someone. As of Tuesday of the abduction, Miss Guthrie remains a mystery. Savannah Guthrie, well, again, this is an older article. Savannah Guthrie, the youngest of Miss Guthrie's 3 children, offered a $1 million reward for information that leads investigators to her mother. And in recent days, the accusations against Mr. Evans have eased. And he has been able to go back to teaching. Wow. He said he had gotten support from colleagues and the parents of his fifth graders who had feared might believe speculation posted online. But the lasting effects are clear. The other day, Mr. Evans worried that a man was following him at a department store. Miss Evans can't help pulling her phone and searching her husband's name. She wants to know in advance if people might mob their neighborhood. None of this is real, but there's so much of it, Miss Evans said of the speculation. How can anyone decipher or catch all of it? Hoo-wee. Thoughts, opinions? That what people are doing the most. People have been killed based on false narratives. I bet it would be scary being targeted like that. Yes, I would agree. But he's a teacher. I thought Sioni was also a teacher too. Am I making that up? I feel like Sioni was a teacher too. It's a mess, and like I said, I wouldn't want to be in their situation. I mean, here's the deal, guys. The reality is that this can happen to anybody. Anybody. People can accuse you of stuff, it happened to them. But again, this can happen to anybody where people are, scouting and doing the most. I think people got to be careful. People have to be careful of, kind of what you're doing out there and what you're putting out there. And how do you control the internet? That's why when the sheriff says, well, you can go sue people, can you? You gonna sue everybody That's impossible. It's impossible to sue a bunch of YouTubers. I mean, it would be like a class action lawsuit at this point, but it's impossible to just do that. Furthermore, now this was 17 hours ago. Law enforcement now at the home. So law enforcement has been at the home for a couple times. The media has been shush away. Brian Ensign has found a way to kind of make it there and be able to squeeze himself there. I think people people in Tucson really like Brian Ensign. I think he's got a way of reporting, and he's not. I don't think he's out there doing the most, but I think it's something to kind of keep in mind. He's a biology teacher. Gotcha. Yeah, my goodness, man. I mean, what do you guys think? What are we doing about what's the word? Like, they're looking for Ring camera footage from neighbors. We're almost a month in. Well, it'll be a month, I think, tomorrow. Is this going to be solved? Why is it taking so long to, I guess that's what I wonder. Is this going to be solved? And then I'm hearing too that the Guthrie home is going to be returned to her family. Now, what does that even mean? Because it's not like, she's not here, so somebody else is going to take care of it. What does that mean? That's what I want to know. Anyways, let me shout out some people, excuse me. TL, I always say your name wrong, my love. Thank you so much for TL girl. I want to say it's like Tiger. I keep wanting to say Tiger, but it's not Tiger. Sorry. Thank you so much, my love, for your 21 membership. TL. I'm going to figure it out, how to pronounce it or how to say it. If it's an initial, an acronym, let me know. But thank you so much for your 21 membership, love. TL Gur. Ro? MM? Thank you for your 21 membership. Thank you, love. Appreciate it. You're always here. Thank you for supporting. Britt, 1 month membership. Thank you. I think I read your super chat, my love. I did. And thank you, Joey, again. Hold up. I'm trying to catch up. Lovely Light. Thank you. I think you just upgraded your membership. Thank you. The Trust. Shout out to BJ. There you go. Somebody's got to tend to this house. The Trust. It's taking long because Timu Sheriff is trying to control everything to the point that there's nothing to control. I don't know if it's the sheriff, though. Yeah, I get the nicknames, but I can't get everything. You said, well, somebody has to make sure it doesn't fall. Yeah, like that. Somebody's got to take care of the house and stuff like that. So with that being said, is that the house is no longer a crime scene. I guess at this point. Anyways, let's get into this.
26 in the search for Nancy Guthrie, and there are signs investigators are finishing up at the crime scene. The mother of today's show,
it was they kind of let people walk through the crime scene. What was it, the same week? And now we're just now finishing up the crime scene. We're just now. Okay.
Host Savannah Guthrie vanished from her Catalina Foothills home about 4 weeks ago. 13 News reporter Renee Romo is joining us live from outside of Nancy Guthrie's home right now. Renee, what have you seen out there today?
Well, Ashley, there were quite a few people out here at the Guthrie house, with some staying for hours, but there hasn't been any law enforcement activity today. Now, we've seen a gardener, a network service provider, and an Amazon delivery driver come by Guthrie's house today. Along with that, 3 different cars pulled into Guthrie's garage. They were at different times, but from what we could see, they did not appear to be law enforcement. Some men could be seen carrying boxes out to the car, and we could see one person run from the garage into the car before it left after 2:30 this afternoon. Afterwards, we could see a man installing cameras around Guthrie's house. This is all happening as a law enforcement source confirmed to me that Nancy Guthrie's house will be given back over to the Guthrie family soon, either by the end of this week or sometime next week. I spoke with retired FBI Special Agent Richard Kolko about that timing, and he tells me at this point, investigators should have what they need.
At this point, they looks like they feel like they've done what they can in the house. They've probably photographed it extensively. They've collected the evidence they need to collect, and they know they can get back in the house if they need to.
Now, Kolko also tells me that the time investigators took at the house is crucial, not just for evidence collection in trying to find Nancy Guthrie or her abductors, but also for the trial that they hope to have someday.
From the house being secured from the night or the morning they discovered Nancy missing until the time they actually turn it back over to the Guthrie family, they've had a...
The trial? Did she just say trial? Like, That's assuming that, like, who's the trial? We don't even know where she's. I mean, okay, the trial on who? That's the question that I have. I'm like, the trial? Really? There's a trial? Okay.
Locked down. They know that everything is static, and that's the best way to do an investigation. So if you have to explain something to a jury later, you can say nothing was moved, nothing was changed, and here it is between this date and this date.
As we near the end of the 4th week of this investigation, we've also seen a change out here at the scene with far less media presence. Pima County announced the road in front of Nancy Guthrie's house would be reopened to two-way traffic, and they added temporary parking restrictions along the road and the roads.
That they have signs, y'all, like, you can't park here.
Surrounding it until further notice. Now, it's now been 2 days since the last press release we got from law enforcement, and it's been 3 weeks since the last press conference. We'll be sure to keep you updated on air and online at KOLD.com with any new developments. Reporting live in the Catalina foothills, Renee Romo, 13 News.
So, Mr. Tomato Head, shout out to you. You said she won't be presumed dead for another 5 years. Yeah, because that's a whole legal process, right? I'm not sure what happens with their bank accounts and property during that time. If you watch BJ's video, she kind of got into the estate part, or not the estate, but like the trusts. She got into a little bit of the financials. So I'm sure somebody is going to, take over that and manage it. I'm pretty sure. But there's just so many unanswered questions to this, right? Well, number one, like, where is she? We want to know what happened, right? But also, like, it was very unclear when all of this first came out. It was very, very, very unclear about whether somebody had used her bank account, debit cards, money, and like, that wasn't very clear at all. So I have a lot of questions about that. Made in Media Worldwide. Thank you so much for this 1999. You still my top watch channel on YT. Thank you. That makes me feel good. Thank you so much. Shout out to Made in Media Worldwide. Thank you so much for this generous super sticker. That really, thank you. Made my day. Lord have mercy. That just made my day. Nancy doesn't technically own the house. It's still, there's a trust there. Something about that. So keep that in mind. Well, her purse was left behind, and her wallet too, but was there a debit card? Was there anything in the fine? I mean, all that could be left behind. Doesn't mean that they didn't take a debit card. I don't know. You said, oh, I am so sorry. I hope you're okay. I hate that. I haven't gotten in car accidents. Lord have mercy. I'm so sorry. Please take care of yourself and, take care of yourself. Live in life. Please, please. You said they mean that if somebody is apprehended, they have to go to trial. That's what I'm like, trial? What trial? Is there a trial? We don't even know what's going on, but okay.
We know you are staying on top of it very closely, Renee. Thank you. Here is another look at the video of the suspect captured by Nancy Guthrie's doorbell camera. He's described as standing 5'9" to 5'10" with a medium build, wearing a 25-liter Ozark Trail Hiker Pack backpack that is exclusively sold at Walmart. If you have any information on Nancy Guthrie's disappearance, you can call the Sheriff's Department at 520-351-4900 or 88-CRIME to submit your tips. The FBI's tip line can be reached at 1-800-CALL-FBI. You can also use this QR code on your screen to submit any photo or video evidence. We will, of course, continue to bring you the very latest on this ongoing search, both on air and online, as it comes into our newsroom. You can also download our 13 News mobile app for late-breaking alerts.
Okay. Hold up, my friends. Let's get into this here. Now, this is the month mark.
Shifting its resources in the search for Nancy Guthrie this morning, nearing 1 month since she vanished. Investigators are turning the property now back over to the Guthrie family. We've also learned, and this could be very big, a potential new piece of evidence from a nearby house that could offer a lead. News Nation's Mills Hayes is outside of the Guthrie home with the very latest on that this morning. Mills.
Hi, Marnie. That new video that you mentioned, we'll get to that, but the Pima County Sheriff's Office says that they are aware of that. Now, it has been nearly 1 month since Nancy Guthrie was last seen, and the crime scene investigation at her home appears to be wrapping up. The FBI actually shifting resources back to Phoenix, where they'll be working the case from there.
You know
and
what?
yesterday, News Nation camera.
Hold up. I found something. I'm going to play this and I'm going to show you guys something.
cameras did capture a man putting up a surveillance camera outside of the home as the Pima County Sheriff's Office blocked off the entrance. Another man was seen grabbing mail from the front porch and loading a car up with boxes. And the Pima County Sheriff's Office tells me that they are aware of that new Ring camera video reportedly from this house showing about a dozen cars drive by in the early morning hours the day that Nancy Guthrie was taken. The house is about 2.5 miles away, just outside the radius that authorities initially sought for video from neighbors nearby. And meanwhile, the FBI is reducing the number of agents in Tucson and moving their command post to the field office in Phoenix.
Okay, let me stop right here. I need to show you guys something. This net 1519744 account keeps claiming to know where the body of Nancy Guthrie is. And I think you should pay this person a visit at FBI Phoenix at FBI, because doing this sort of thing is not only creepy, but if they're lying 99% of the time they should have consequences. So there's a creepy account claiming to know where Nancy Guthrie's body is. What? I mean, they keep reposting stuff. 3 hours ago. The suspects have always been related to Nancy Guthrie. Why do you suppose the man she considered a son fled to Italy? Protection that will fail. He and his wife are attempting to place blame on their primary friend, who they promise a cut. The suspects have always been related. Why do you suppose? Okay, we read that. He or she is reposting things. Hold up. We also went over where the hidden vehicle is located, color, make, and model. Local regional airports east of where they dumped her body in a trout-filled lake. She was moved from the original cave/mine in a local campground just west of the airport to the lake. What? Why are they? So they're responding to Nerdy Addict. Some automotive enthusiasts believe that the vehicle seen driving past Nancy Guthrie's home 8 minutes after her abduction may be a Kia Soul. Thoughts? We also went over where the hidden vehicle is located. Who's we? This is like color, make, model, local regional airport east of where they dumped her body. What? Dude, like, people be doing the most. Yeah, I hope they tag the FBI on this person. And if you're giving false information, I hope that they're handled accordingly, because that's that kind of crap that it's like no different than that one guy who had the blow-up doll.
According to multiple reports, a former FBI agent told me that investigators aren't giving up. This is normal, and investigators could do the same work remotely as they are doing on site once most of the evidence is collected and neighborhood is canvassed. He also tells me, despite no new information from law enforcement, the case is not cold.
I think the public also has to understand that the lack of information flowing from law enforcement doesn't mean that this case isn't being worked feverishly behind the scenes. You can't release information that would compromise the case. So I think the public still has to be confident that it's being worked, but naturally after 30 days, people are going to start wondering whether this case has gone cold or not.
The FBI is reportedly prepared.
I don't think it's cold, and we keep using that narrative, but hey, I don't know. I'm not an expert.
To turn Nancy Guthrie's home over to the family. Nancy was last seen January 31st, and surveillance video shows a masked man at her front door ripping her doorbell camera off the wall on February 1st. And there have been tens of thousands of tips in this case, but no suspect has been named. And about 1,500 tips came in after the family announced that $1 million reward this past week. Savannah Guthrie even acknowledging that her mom may be in heaven at this point, and also saying that there is still need for more information and for people with that information to come forward, Marnie.
Yeah. All right, Mills, thank you.
Thank you for watching. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I was not prepared for that one. So that being said, though, I don't know. There's a lot of, again, online speculation will continue to do that. They're going to continue to speculate. online, and there's going to be continued various reports of different things and stuff like that, and we don't even know the half of it. Clearly there's a lot. I'm just like, is there any more footage? Is there anything else, right? Like, what is the FBI working with? It sounds like we still don't know who and what we have as far as a suspect. There's a ring door camera, but that ring door camera isn't even something that is really being acknowledged by PIMA or the FBI at this point. I don't know, man. What do y'all think? It's one of those things. And then you had somebody, who got arrested outside of their driving, who had Nancy's picture, which a lot of us that do content probably have her picture here. Nothing. What is going on? Where are we at? What are investigators seeing? What do they believe? I guess it's a lot of something about speculation. Lord have mercy. Hold on.
We're continuing to go through all of the evidence in this case now as we approach 1 month since Nancy Guthrie went missing. The sheriff has now acknowledged this new neighborhood ring camera that's just emerged. This was video obtained by Fox News Digital, and it shows a car driving down a road minutes after Nancy Guthrie's abduction. This was taken about 2.5 miles from Nancy's home, and it was taken outside of that 2-mile perimeter where investigators were really focused on getting video footage from neighbors trying to understand or get any clues of where maybe this suspect could have been in those moments before and after her abduction. It's unclear if this new video will be useful to investigators, but the sheriff does tell me that it is part now of the investigation.
It is part of the investigation. Okay. Well, there's the acknowledgement.
And meanwhile, we are learning more about the staffing of this case. There are scores of agents still working this case, and many of them are still boots on the ground here in Tucson. But a senior law enforcement official tells NBC News that they are also now centering many of those agents. Instead of in Tucson, they're doing so out of the FBI field office in Phoenix. They say that this is not in any way because they are giving up on this case. They say it is simply because this is where their investigators in this next phase of this investigation can hunker down, analyze all the intel, go over all the evidence, including the thousands of hours of video footage, some 5,000 to 10,000 hours of footage they've amassed. An FBI official says that they have to watch every single piece of that video in real time. Right now,
that is insane. Now, let me tell you guys, let me close that out. FBI says 1,500 new tips reported after reward for missing mom Nancy Guthrie increased to 1 million. 1,500. Right, tomato head, right? Like they're offering rewards for information, and this person is dropping hints on Twitter. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. So 1,500 tips have come in since Savannah Guthrie announced the reward to finding her missing mom. Nancy was increased to 1 million. Early this week, Savannah made her public plea asking for help in finding her mom who went missing. Okay. So that is a lot of tips. And furthermore, 1 million Guthrie family reward can be paid in cash to anonymous tipster Savannah Guthrie shares in desperate new bid for help. So it can be paid in cash, but again, somebody knows something, y'all. Police probing new footage from a resident 2.5 miles away from Nancy Guthrie home. Here's the question: is why didn't they probe it before? Is it because it was outside of the time frame? I mean, clearly that's what it was. Now they're looking at it. Okay. The Piedmont County Sheriff's Department confirmed it is probing new surveillance video from neighbors' home that shows vehicle driving by around the time Nancy Guthrie was kidnapped nearly a month ago. The ring camera footage, which we've already talked about. So the neighbors gave it to Fox before they gave it to law enforcement, which I thought was interesting. Shows a car passing by two residents 2.5 miles from Guthrie's Tucson home around 2:30 a.m. February 1st, about the time police believe the 84-year-old grandmother was abducted. So the FBI is also aware of the video. NBC News reported, although it's unclear whether it will be any kind of help moving on whether it will be of any help to ongoing investigation into the missing mother of Today Show Savannah Guthrie. Authorities made their final sweep of Nancy Guthrie's home on Wednesday and are expected to allow the family to return to the property. Authorities have yet to identify any suspects in the baffling case. Arizona residents building secret panic rooms after Guthrie kidnapping? Huh? Terrified Arizona residents are rushing to build the panic rooms after the kidnapping of Nancy Guthrie, who has still not been found early a month after she was snatched from her Tucson home. Kevin Hand, who specializes in break-in resistance safe rooms at Sportsman Steel Saves in the Grand Canyon State, Lord have mercy, way to give him a shout out, told the Daily Mail his business has been flooded with calls of late to quickly install thick steel doors and secret hiding rooms in people's homes. There was a huge spike in calls and business since the Guthrie case. Hand told the paper, noting that many people are scared and could be ripped, that they could be ripped from their beds, never to be seen again. Sportsman Steel Saves has built heavy-duty doors and safe rooms for wealthy clients in Texas and California for decades. But now middle-class families in Arizona have merged as his newest customers, with consultations already booked for weeks. The abduction of Guthrie, the 84-year-old mother of the Today Show host, Savannah Guthrie, has people thinking, what we do if someone broke in tonight, Hand said. People don't want this to happen to them or their families. They're realizing maybe it can. So people are building like in-home safes. Jeez. Security film. Well, I mean, listen. Okay. Right, Flojo. If they're going to come and get you from the bed, good luck with the room. Look, you don't even need all that. What you needed is a subscription and a working security camera. And maybe some of those lights, you know what I mean? Like the sensor lights. But definitely a security camera with a subscription. That probably would have been the best thing, right? A subscription. Here's the question, though. The person that took Nancy, do you guys think that this person knew that she didn't have a subscription? That she was outdated, or maybe she needed a subscription? The camera's going, but I don't know. Just a question. Driver busted outside of Nancy Guthrie's home. We saw that. So apparently he was driving past to up to 100 times with a photo of missing mom. He had it on the phone. He was drunk. I think he got a DUI. I think that's what we said. We talked about the relocation of the agents. That's nothing new. And yeah, the surveillance footage is interesting. I'll say that much. You guys, like, it just, I don't know, man. You said, I think it's the person. I think she knows the person. What? A panic room, right? You said every room I'm in is a panic room? Really? Arizona has restriction on outside lights. Wow. You said, I think she was she was targeted, and that's why they knew a lot more than we know at this point, right? Just have cameras. Make sure they're working cameras. And you know, another thing I would probably do was allow somebody else to have access to those cameras, right? So it's not just your app, but it's like if you don't live in the same property, it's like, you know, your family member's app too, that they're able to see, and they get notifications if something is happening there. Now, FBI ends the search at Nancy Guthrie's home. Okay. Again, they're ready to turn over the home. I'm going to see if there's anything else going on outside of the home. Hold up. Let me see. Geez, it's like anything else going on. Now I'm nosy to see if well, JLR is out there and there's still 29,000 people watching. Breaking. Numerous people arrive at Nancy Guthrie. Is there really a man?
Security. Did you guys hear that?
What? Hold up.
Like, dude. People were like a little too late. Wow.
They're just out there.
It's like, everyone's like, alert.
He said thousands. What is that? Thousands of people are rushing into her house?
Security alarm going off.
That's a lot of people. Why? I think that tent right there is where Brian
I
Anton
can
is
still
at.
hear it in the back.
They're just hanging out. I'm like, yeah, there's 29,000 people watching the stream. Watching what? Nothing. I think it's just kind of like sitting there and just talking to see if anything happens. I mean, that does happen. Yeah, they can only stand on a public light. Really? I don't see thousands of people rushing in, but I think that's what I'm not making it up. It really does say it on his thing. It says it on his chat. Hold up. Ooh, that's annoying.
Alarms off at Nancy Guthrie's home.
Oh, there's an alarm. Breaking. Numerous people, not thousands.
Testing their new security system.
Numerous people arrived to Nancy Guthrie's home. Numerous, not thousands. So maybe I said thousands and I should have said thousands. Numerous. So they're installing alarms at the house. Yeah, where was that alarm when she was taken? Say that again.
Security alarm going off.
Oh,
I can
man.
still hear it. They're testing it.
Oh, hold up. Well,
It's not that loud from the road, though.
just so you guys are aware, there is a community alert in Piedmont County. There's a gas leak. Where's the gas leak? I don't know. There's a gas leak closure. There's a gas leak closure 2 minutes ago. That's what they posted. I don't know where. Let me see. It says invalid date. Okay. Piedmont County Sheriff's Department has closed the intersection of South Houghton Road and East Sarita Road in all directions. This closure is due to a gas leak near that intersection. Please avoid that area. Lord have mercy. Gas. There's a lot of stuff going on over there right now. Now hold up. Let me see what else is going on. No updates. Oh gosh. 2 women. Let me read you guys what was posted. Hold up. So this is JLR. I don't know if he captured these women on camera. 2 women just came to Nancy Guthrie's house, said they are 100% certain who did this crime. They're crying. They are on their way to Piedmont County Sheriff's Department. They're 100% certain of who committed this crime. There's 2 women. Hold up. Let me see. Did he capture the women? He said there was 2 women. When did he? This was an hour ago. Oh, here it is. Okay, hold up. Is this it?
It just came and says, interesting, folks. I'm not going to share who came, but 2 individuals just came and says they know who did this and are going to the sheriff's office right now. We'll see. Wouldn't share with me who they think did this, but they say they have an idea who did this. And I strongly encourage them to go to the sheriff's office ASAP and turn it in. I said, not only that, get your reward, whatever. Like, they didn't tell me who it was. I asked. They came out here, so we'll see. We'll see. Somebody is on the way. 2 individuals are on their way to the sheriff's office. They say just 2 people. So I don't know. I was just talking to him. I mean, she was very, very emotional. She didn't want to go on camera. She was shaking. She was shaking. And they said, go to the sheriff's office. Find, that I said, every minute counts. Every minute counts here. I asked who it was. She wouldn't tell me. I said, then go to the sheriff's office immediately. Go to the sheriff's office. I said, go collect your reward. Maybe it comes in. I just said, I came with the philosophy. If you see something, say something. If you see something, say something.
That's his. Yeah. He said, who knows, just sharing, we'll see. So they were crying.
Folks, I'm not going to share.
Good God, please direct them. Well, why would they go there first before going to Pima? So they went to go up there to cry, but they didn't go to Pima. Anyways, let me stop. I hope it was sincere and not just looking for attention. I mean, you literally had a woman out there that was singing the Celine Dion song, My Heart Will Go On, or something like that. Y'all let me. You guys told me. I was trying to be nice about it. Somebody got mad at me because I made a comment about it. I said, somebody said, well, maybe they're just trying to bring joy and togetherness, outside of Nancy Guthrie's house, with the karaoke. I thought she was praying. I thought she was singing and praying. That's honestly, that's what I thought was happening. Yeah, she said she was shaking and crying. Did I hear that correctly? And because I really did think that that's what was happening. And then somebody came in there and said, no, that she was singing Barbra Streisand songs. And she was having like a 1-woman concert out there with the karaoke machine. And I'm like, huh? But I thought they were praying. No. So somebody got mad that I made a comment about that. They're like, well, maybe they're just bringing joy, because there's so much going on there. And maybe this is, out there. I'm going to block you, but she said near, far, wherever you are. I was like, huh? So anyways, let me stop. Because somebody got mad at me. Why are you being so negative? Maybe when they went, I was like, maybe they were praying. That's okay. But I didn't think it was appropriate to bring a karaoke machine and sing out there. Like, she's got neighbors. You know what I mean? So yeah, like, it's one thing if you're there to do like a prayer song and you're praying, and okay, but if you're singing Barbra Streisand songs and My Heart Will Go On, I have a problem with that. I do. I'm sorry, I'm laughing because I'm totally made me laugh on this comment. Let me stop. Okay, so I hope it was sincere. Why did they need to somebody said the exact same thing I just said. I think somebody said it in the chat too. Why do they need to stop by the house first instead of going straight to the sheriff's? Sounds very performative. I mean, go to the sheriff. Go to the sheriff. That's where you go. They reported receiving anonymous tips pointing to a specific forested area. While they haven't made an official 100% identification of a suspect, their involvement stems from their belief. Sister Krev, that's interesting. I mean, the neighbors, I'm telling you, if they're having trouble with the people in the parking and all the traffic, you have a woman out there singing My Heart Will Go On. Like, someone said, please don't speculate. I like your stuff, but this is just over the line. Somebody said 1 month later, in complete distraught, instead of going to the police station, they show up at the scene. I mean, anything is possible, I guess, but this comes a bit more dramatic. Why show up at the home where this happened, where media is everywhere, instead of just reaching out to police? I'm kind of there with this person there too.
Came, but 2 individuals just came and says they know
it seems performative. Hold up.
And are going to the sheriff's office.
Let me go here
right now.
Because we just watched this. What else is happening? And hold up. Let me unmute this. The media is still out there. I mean, they don't have a lot of cars there anymore. So they got rid of a lot of the cars. Cars aren't there as much. There's that. Let me see if anything else. There is literally nothing new so far. I think we've caught up with everything for the most
Like a little
part.
wait late.
Hold up. Am I behind? I am totally behind. Look at this. Oh, they have a tent out there now.
I'm trying to improvise here. Might take an adjustment. And I'm gonna go over here. We're
You want to help move that table? Let me know.
Yeah, let's move the table. Where do you want to move it? Back here?
Well, we could just move it over here.
I was gonna
They
go
had
right
that
here
tent?
at
I had no
the
idea.
front
We
here.
can move the table right there.
Well, I was gonna move this tripod over here. Can get a better view here.
Wow.
And then I have to lower it.
Here's my question. And I know like that they're out there just trying to see who's coming and going, okay? But with all this, just my thought, just my opinion. Nobody asked for it, but I'm just kind of wondering, why not just go figure out how to get a permit so that you can go search in areas for her? Maybe canvass and ask certain individuals, maybe just ask around the area and stuff like that. And kind of include that, because I mean, then I don't know. I don't know what the unless something else is going down in the home, what would be the point of sitting outside of the home at this point?
The thing? You
Question.
want to?
Yeah, like I would probably go get those permits. Why not? Is it hard to get a missing person permit in Tucson?
I think so.
I
don't
would do
know.
that.
Hold on. Move the table. Move the table down here.
Let me see if I can find it. To get a missing person search. Hold up. Let me see if I can find information on this.
Just back 2 feet. Solution could be a bar bringing drill. And you could just drill another, whatever hole it is.
Yeah, right.
You just drill one in.
Yeah.
Whatever you want.
I bet Mark the Sheriff has his drill with him too.
Does he?
No, I'm just. Yeah, seems like you have like.
Huh.
Cool for me for now.
Yeah, I mean there
Plus
is
I can
no.
I can interact with people. We could do some Q&As and stuff.
I mean I know that they're doing Q&A, but like even here it says that there's no formal general permit for civilians to search for missing people in Arizona. But the requests for such authorizations are frequently denied by law enforcement, who often cite the searches are best conducted by professionals. But you can't go to like an agency and use them and their resources and maybe get a quick training to help get you certified in whatever it may be, to help go find people. And then that would be interesting. That would be an interesting thing to do. And he doesn't, I mean, they could just be in that area. I don't know. I just don't think that what is sitting up front here doing. I'm just wondering.
Covering the case. You never know. Things. I mean, every day something pops up. Something weird. Somebody shows up. Or the investigation. I actually like it lowered like this. I can talk more to all of you. Now that breeze feels good. Yeah.
It's interesting.
We have a nice operation, folks.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It can give you access to private area property depending on the type of search, which is why they
I gotta
don't
go to
issue them.
that Speedway to get that umbrella camera.
To get what?
Oh, I got
Yeah.
the same thing he got for the umbrella.
Oh, nice.
And the Walmart right next door to it too.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, that will be for the next, at least a few days. Next week it's supposed to go back cooler.
They're still going to stay out there next week. Wow.
It feels good in the shade.
As long as you're in the shade.
As long as you're in the shade, it feels
chilling.
really
You're
good.
Like, I could deal with it.
Right. How many times
The
has
sun starts shifting that way, so the shade thing is going to start coming out more and more.
Yeah, I mean, we could.
You're going to start getting sun soon.
what if oh my god, let me not say that out loud because that would be crazy. I bet you the person is watching these streams, which is crazy. Like probably watching all of JLR's streams. Just watching.
It has to be 15 feet.
I can't think of
And
anything
even
else.
on her side. They said, the sheriff said, as long as the tarps tents are out of the road, we have no problem.
It has
Because
to be.
before they were all on the road, you know what I mean?
Anyways, well, guys, I do have to let you guys go because I gotta go. Baby Bunny's birthday's on the 1st, so I gotta still get stuff ready. Let me know what you guys think. We covered a lot of different things and whatnot. Let me know what you guys. I mean, there's a lot of theories that a lot of us have and everything. And if anything breaks, I'll definitely see about going live today again. If anything breaks, but like I said, I don't know, man. I don't know what to think at this point. Honestly, you said you had no idea the difference between Florida and Arizona heat. Oh, they're different for sure. But thank you so much. Yeah, it's Baby Buddy's birthday on the 1st, so I'll see about. I don't know about tomorrow. What is it? Yeah, I'll be live tomorrow for sure. But tonight I will see. But I really appreciate everybody stopping by. I know Abraham, you got her busy. You don't even know. All the pinks, all everything. So thank you. I'm gonna let you guys go. So you guys have a great one, and thank you for those that supported the channel today. I will see you guys later. Bye. 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 Thank you guys.